What's going on, all you gamers? Here we are back with some more Aliens Fireteam Elite, and today I'm going to be going over a Demolisher guide, one that's a really nice build guide for getting through those normal kind of horde modes or the campaign. So if you're after a really nice explosive build, then stay tuned, that's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? I'll bring you all the latest and greatest hints, tips, guides and builds for all the latest games coming out. But for today I'm here to show you this fella right here, what he's all about and how much fun you can have with an explosive build in this game. Now, to be perfectly honest, explosive builds are a little bit niche, I'm not going to lie, and there's a reason why I've put normal in the title. I've tried some of these in late game and they just They kind of don't work, or if they do, I'm not good enough with them at the moment to pull them off, because the blast effect, because the explosion damage in late game where you're doing higher difficulties can very easily wipe yourself and pretty much everyone around you. So I would highly recommend this. Is really good and probably best suited for horde mode normal, or through making your way through the campaign and just having a heap of fun with this explosive build. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck on just a little bit of footage, just showing you what this fella's about, and hopefully you can see just how much fun he is to play. After that, I'll chuck on the full build guide.
Our job is to lure the Xenos away from that enemy.
Right, so like I said, hopefully from that you can see how enjoyable this guy is. He's very fun to play, it's very damaging, and it knocks out most things in one. All of the smaller ads, you've just got to worry about some of the bigger elites and such. But in a nice team, you're going to do so much damage, and you're just going to take care of business really well. And like I said, you'll be able to use explosive stuff, whereas probably doing the higher settings, you won't be touching things like this at all. Right, so if I go over what this character's using for his weapons, in the first slot just here we're going to be using the Twilight. This is a really nice DMR. It does a lot of damage and it can be boosted ridiculously if you're in a team with something, say for example you're using a gunner, or sorry, if you have a gunner in your team, this will do so much damage, it is ridiculous. It's also really good if you do run out of ammo for your rocket launcher, or if you just want to take someone's head off all the way over in the distance. Now for this, we're going down here and we're using the tanker muzzle brake. This gives you weak point damage 20, stumble chance plus 10 and effective range plus 10. 33% chance to briefly stun enemies on hit. This effect can only occur once every 15 seconds. But on those bigger elites and really tough armoured enemies, this can really help, and it's invaluable in some of those tougher fights. Next up, and we've got armor piercing rounds. The magazine's plus 30 and it does 25% damage against armor targets again. Literally, you're just going to bop this on whenever you want to take on some of those armor targets and get some really nice damage on those headshots or weak points and such. Next up, and just over here, we've got the tactical scope. Weak point damage plus 25% and zoom magnification 25%. Enemies are revealed for 5 seconds on weak point hit. Again, this one's just to pretty much say if you are shooting something off in the yonder, and if it is a little bit of a tougher enemy, maybe your team can focus fire on it. I found this quite fun. It is in normal mode a lot of times, so most of the time you are going to take things out, but some of those tougher enemies, definitely like the armoured ones, the Praetorians, still do need a little bit of focus fire from time to time. Going over the perks here, and we've got 5% stability, another 5% stability, 5% fire rate, and well, I haven't unlocked this one yet, but 5% handling, additional 1% weak point damage. This effect stacks up to 5 times, so basically an extra 5% weak point. Really nice little added extra, and it really works well with this weapon. Coming over to the main thing we're going to be using for pretty much inflicting all of our fun based damage is this right here, the M12A1 rocket launcher. Now this thing is just an absolute laser. You can shoot it anywhere and it is going to go pretty much dead center in a straight line and you're going to hit your target. As long as you're aiming in the straight line, in the direction, it's going to hit what you're aiming for, as long as it doesn't move out of the way. But like I said, it's a lot of fun to use for those normal missions. Now what we've got here is phosphorus munitions, max ammo plus 35%. Extra ammo is always great, and being able to get a little bit further without having to change off of this gun or having to kind of grab those ammo caches definitely works in your favour. So 25% on kill to leave behind a small patch 2.5 meter radius that deals 100 thermal damage per second for 4 seconds. Basically anything that's walking into this will get a lot of damage and usually die on that setting, and it's just a nice easy ad clear. Next up, and we've got the polygonal rifling. Fire rate plus 20%. 50% chance on hit, enemies take an additional 10% damage for 5 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 15 seconds. However, that's usually enough to do the job. Really nice. Extra damage on anything is really good. Extra damage on things that already hit like a truck like this does is always an added bonus. And last but definitely not least is quick charge armature. This one gives you really nice reload speed, which we were definitely missing, plus it gives you a little bit more fire rate, 30% stability on hit for 5 seconds. This effect does not stack. It's really nice, it's easy to use, and the fire rate and reload speed really work hand in hand with this gun. Just down here, and I have unlocked pretty much nada as I've only just started using this, but I know 100% it is amazing when you get it to tier 4. So a little bit stability, a little bit of stability. It's tier 3 is plus 10% projectile speed, which is really good because obviously you'll be able to shoot at more rockets at those really tough enemies. And just down the bottom, 20% chance on kill to release a secondary cluster explosion. Again, working hand in hand with this just up here, just another added area effect going off, and anything that walks into that path is just going to get absolutely vaporized. Really nice and really fun to use in all of the campaigns and in the horde mode especially. Now coming down to these consumables, and I didn't realise I'd spent all of them, but if I go to the vendor just here in the armory, what is probably going to work best for you, I would say grab anything you can that's going to fend things off a little bit for you. So these right here, the sentry guns, any of the 3 will be absolutely amazing. If you wanted a little bit of extra damage, you could always put on the vulnerability assessment drone. You probably won't need it. For myself, I'd probably go with kind of a cryo grid and then the sentry turrets or anything that's going to hold things off, ready for you to target them and just absolutely batter them from a bit of distance. Right, so jumping over to our skill tree, or perks grid as they call it in this. Basically, we're trying to boost our micro rockets absolutely through the roof and have a lot of damage for our weapon, which is going to be a pure explosive build. So we've got force multiplier on the mini rockets. Then just down here we've got a quick charge 4, meaning we're going to be able to use it a lot more. Bopping down, and we've got Demolisher heavy training. This gives us max ammo of heavy weapons for 20%, and it also means we're going to be able to reload a lot faster of 15%. Just over here, and we've got Demolisher heavy expertise. This one right here increases the radius of heavy weapons by 15% and damage of heavy weapons by 10%. Like I said, we're going very explosion based. This works really well. Again, just over here, Demolisher heavy mastery. Fire rate and stability are increased by 15% for all heavy weapons. Next up, and we've gone for loud and clear. This one right here increases the attached abilities damage dealt by 20% and causes it to generate an additional stack of clear the room. Really nice. We're trying to get our micro rockets up quite a lot, and this really helps out with the damage. Just up here, and we've got fire and forget. Micro rockets now debilitates enemies, causing them to take 25% more damage from area based attacks and bleed for 8% of their damage over 8 seconds. Really nice, just a little added extra, and it means you're going to do a lot more damage from your rockets and from blast wave if you want to chuck it into the mix. Just down here, and we've got down and out. You deal 20% more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked. Now in team based play, most times you will be doing that. We can do that a little bit with our build. Other people will probably be throwing that into the mix. A lot of times you'll be getting that 20% more on top of it without even knowing you're doing it. just over here, and we've got bigger and better. Demolisher only increases the radius of the attached ability by 40%. I've chucked that on the micro rockets because we're going with that big boom area effect, meaning we want to capture as many of those Xenos in the mix and just have a lot of fun with our explosive build. Just down here, and we've got assault and battery. Each target hit by blast wave reduces its cooldown by 10%. This is going to help us out a little bit with that air effect of blast wave, and meaning we'll be able to get it back quite often, which is also helped by this one just up here, enhanced reach 3. Increases the radius of an ability by 8. It just means we're going to capture a few more Xenos when we're using our blast wave, and we're going to be able to get it back a little bit more often, giving us a little bit of reprise, a little bit of a timeout, and helping everyone to knock our foes about. Alright, all you gamers, I hope that's helped a few of you out. Like I said, I probably wouldn't recommend this for any of the tougher settings because you're probably going to fall over, or you're going to cause your team to fall over before you do. But for those earlier settings, especially on the standard normal mode, this is really fun, and it can be a great build for clearing out those horde waves, which really racks up that experience, especially if you're trying it for this weapon and maybe another weapon that you want to level up. As always, guys and girls, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on the next day.